Welcome, friends. My name is pst.Fanuel, Demesi from Friends International Center, Ngong Road, Nairobi. I'm excited to be with you today and be able to share with you the part 2 of our series on contextualized effective parenting. My desire is that we will be able to help our children. We will be able to guide them through, even as we stay with them at home because of this pandemic that has been with us now for almost 3 months. We can be able to help our children to become better. We did part 1 last week, and I want us to just look at part 2. And in this part 2, I will want us to answer 4 important questions. 4 important questions that can help you and me as a parent to be able to bring up our children and help them in a way that will help them. So I want to, first of all, begin by asking this question. And that question is the one that will then help us to build on it and learn what the Lord wants us to learn this morning. 1, is there a difference in the way parents should raise their children? Do you just raise your children in the same way, or there is a difference in the way you raise your children? I want us to look at this question. It's a difficult question, but I want to look at it in different phases. First, number 1, that your children are not the same. Sorry. 1, they are different in gender. You may have boys and girls. So the way you bring up a boy may be slightly different from the way you bring up a girl. For example, for a boy, there are ways that you will help the boy to learn to respect women in life. There is a way you will raise your boy also to realize that he must be able to go out and fend for the family. As they grow up, you must begin to show them that this is what they ought to grow up and become. So the way you bring up a girl and the way you bring up a boy may be slightly different. But there are things that are common. For example, for the boys and girls, it is important for you as a parent to help them to become very effective at home, in the sense that both of them can be involved in the house chores. You can help the boys also to realize and be able to know that they can also chip in terms of house chores. The boys can wash the dishes, they can help in cooking. By so doing, you are also helping them to be very responsible people. And that will be with them as they continue to grow. Remember, the way you bring up a child is the way they will become in future. So make sure that everything that you do now is helping them to become whatever they will become in the future. The way you bring up a girl is also a bit different from the way you bring up a boy. But I want us to demystify this thought that boys must be brought up to be very unemotional people, very hard people to convince, and while the girls are supposed to be these very gentle and people who accept everything. That is not the best way to bring up your child. Train your children to stand for what is right, even irrespective of their gender. They can be able to stand up and say, this is the true way we should go, and I am not going to take anything less from that. Help your children to do that. Now, the other issue that I want to bring here is that your children are not the same. Whether they are boys or girls, they are not the same. Your children have different abilities. So even as you bring them up as a parent, Never should you try to compare your child number 1 to child number 2. For example, as they do something, and if child number 2 has not done it so well, so you begin to talk to him in a way that makes him feel inferior. For example, by comparing him to child number 1, you're telling John, you have not done well. You see, when I tell Miriam to do this, Miriam does it very well. I don't know where you are going. That is killing your child. So one of the things as parents we need to do is to recognize the abilities in our children. Some of our children are very good in things to do with their hands. So if you want some house just to be done very fast, they will do it very fast. They don't need to be told to do. But there are other children, you need to tell them to do it for them to do it. But you may find that they are very good in things to do with their mental capacity. They think so much, they involve their mind and their logic so much, as opposed to another child who wants to do things with their hands. So you must be able to realize that these children are different, and so you must bring them different. And never should you just raise them together as though they are the same. They are not. So look at the abilities of your children, the potential within a child, and help them to grow in that way. Also help the other children to realize that this is the strength of so-and-so. And even as they grow up, they are able to help each other in achieving that. So there is a difference. There's a difference in the way you should bring up your children. 1, based on their potential. 2, based on their gender. The gender should inform you what you should tell the boys and what you should tell the girls. But I'm not talking about the cultural constructions that are harmful to them. But if those constructions are good, that will help them to become better people in life, then that is the best way to go. Because you don't want to bring this child up as somebody who is irresponsible. And this is what you should put in mind, parents. If you have boys, know that there are boys in your house. But a time will come when there will be men outside there in the society. And then there will be a time when there will be somebody's husband. So as you grow them up, as you raise them up, make them understand, have this understanding that they must know they are boys, and 2, they will be somebody's husband. You don't tell them, you will be somebody's husband. No, that is not what you do. What you do, you realize that this one will be somebody's husband. What kind of a husband are you making for the world? You are saying, I want a man who will be responsible, a man who will respect women, a man who can be able to protect his family, a person who can be able to provide for his family. And these are the things that as you raise your son, you are putting in them. And if it is a girl, you know you're raising up somebody who will eventually become somebody's wife. You would want your girl to be a wife that is respected in the society, a girl who will be somebody's wife who respects the husband, somebody who is able to fend also for the family. And this, as they grow up, they will keep these things within them as they continue. So you look at that as you raise your children. And I believe as you do that, it is going to help you as a parent. Now, I want us to look at question number 2. Question number 2 is, how can parents strengthen their relationships with their children? How can parents strengthen their relationships with their children? You know, parents, apart from you being a father or a mother to your child, you are supposed to become a friend. And you realize that many parents do not have a relationship. The only relationship that exists between the two of you is because you are the father or because you are the mother. But it should go beyond that. You should move just from being a father or a mother to being a friend to your children. But you must realize that this is a relationship that is there, and it must be strengthened. You must be able to work together, you and your child, and make sure that that relationship is strengthened. So I want us to look at a few things that can help you to strengthen your relationship with your child as a parent. As a parent. Number one, you must be a good role model. You know, parents must be able to win the respect, to earn the respect from their children by being good role models. For example, you can't go drinking and then you fall on the road, you are so dirty on the road, and you want your children to respect you. They will not. They will not. So you must earn their respect. Make sure that you model the kind of behavior that you would want in your children. Listen to me, parents. Children may not really do much of what we tell them to do, but they will do a lot of what they see us doing. They are good imitators of what we do. And so, parents, you must begin to realize, for you to strengthen your relationship with your child, you must be a good role model. You can't be telling your child, you must respect people. And you are the first one when you are with them in a matatu, or you are walking on the road, you abuse people, you use dirty language on other people. That is, you are becoming a role model to them. They can't figure out how you're telling them to be respectful, and yet when you walk on the road, you don't respect people. It doesn't work that way. So you model the behavior you would want to see in your children. Do you want your children to be respectful? Then respect people. They will look at you and see you respect people, and they will know this is what we ought to do. Do you want your children to be responsible? Then be responsible. When your children see you working very hard, you working to provide for the family, they automatically know that when we grow up and we have our own families, we will need to do what our parents have done to us. They will also begin to learn to be respectful. Now, if you want your children to use good language to people, don't be the first one to abuse your neighbors on the plot, or everywhere you walk, you use very vulgar language on other people, because children will imitate what you do. So for you to strengthen a relationship with your children, be a good role model. Model the behavior you would want to see in your child in the future. Number two, the other thing that will help you to strengthen your relationship with your children is that you must begin to pay attention to positive behavior. You know, as a parent, your children are doing something, a good thing, a positive behavior, and you do not pay attention to it. For example, your children, you're teaching them to be responsible. So you leave home and you come back in the evening and your children have cleaned the house. Your children have taken responsibility, you are happy about it. And you just come to the house, you don't notice that there is something that your children have done. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is good for you to be able to notice the good behavior. Perhaps you came and the house is so clean, you must be able to tell them, my children, I have noticed something. And they will be wondering, what have you noticed, Dad or Mom? And then you will tell them, I look at the house, the way you've made it clean, and I say, these are my children. I am happy for you. They realize now you are paying attention to the positive behavior. Don't ever link a positive behavior to a negative thing. For example, you're coming home and your children have done something good, and you laugh about it. You say, Shetani gani amewatembelea? Which devil has visited you today? And your children can't comprehend. We have done a good thing. Our parents are saying, there is a devil that has visited us. Don't do that. When they have done something good, pay attention to that. Recognize that good thing they have done and be able to appreciate them for the good thing they have done. Your friend came visiting, you are not there. And your children decided, because this is our friend to our parents, we will make them comfortable. They tell your friends to sit, they run into the kitchen, they prepare tea, They serve your visitors. And then when you come, your visitors are taking tea, and you are there. You just take it as though it is normal. Remember, there are other children who don't do that. But once you come home and you find your friends are comfortable, your children have prepared tea they have given to them, you change and tell them, my children, I am happy that when my friends came, you took charge. You've helped them to become to feel comfortable at home. This is very good. I'm proud of you. And you can even go ahead and say, for any good, positive behavior, you can make a reward. If you had not prepared for them to eat fish, for example, and you have money in your pocket, go and buy fish and bring it home and tell them, this fish we are eating because, my children, I can see there is something good happening in you. The other day I came here, you had made the house so well. Our friends came, they told me how you welcomed them very well, and this is what I want from you. You pay attention to the positive behavior. The problem we have as parents is we pay attention to the negative behavior. Once your children do something good, you never notice. But once they do something wrong, you notice, and you begin to quarrel them. You tell them how they are going nowhere. But when they do something good, you don't appreciate it. That is not what you are supposed to do. So pay attention to that. And that will strengthen your relationship. Can you imagine you are rewarding your children because of a good thing? Don't reward them with things that will be like manipulation. You are rewarding them with something that will help them to know that our parents respect us. And that strengthens your relationship. Number 3, please try as parents to use encouraging statements while talking to your children. Now, your children have been doing their final exam. They come home, and when they get home, you take their report cards, and the only thing you are looking at is the position in class. And you say, is this the position you can bring to me here? No positive, encouraging statements. Use positive and encouraging statements to your children. Like you might decide you will go subject by subject. You tell them, wow, I like the way you did in mathematics. This was very good. This was very good. I am happy with your marks in mathematics. This is very encouraging. This is the way to go. I am believing God, if you put in more effort, you can get even higher marks than this one. And then you go to English, where your child did not perform well. You say, this is not bad marks, but it is a bit below average. What was the problem? And when you realize the problem, then you tell your child, please, next time, I want us to strike a deal. I know you can do it. If you concentrate, you can do it. I know you are now figuring out how you can make it in the next exam. And your children begin to feel these positive statements coming, and they realize they need to do something. They realize they need to do something. They were position 45 last term. This term they are position 37. You cannot just look at it and say, you are among the last. No, say, you are now beginning to work hard. I can see the effort. From position 47 to 37, at least you have improved by 10 positions. And your child begins to realize you are encouraging. And when you encourage your child, the relationship becomes closer. They will be able to tell you what is the problem, why they failed in English. Perhaps they failed in English because there is a problem between them and the teacher. Perhaps they failed in English because there is a problem between them and the other students in the class. So as you strengthen your relationship with your children, they begin to realize and open up to you, and you will be able to help them. Use statements like, I have faith in you. You are going to make it. Even if they are trying, life is not easy. Remember, parents, your children are struggling with peer pressure. They are struggling to make it in class. We have put a lot of expectations on them. Every time you are doing, you talk to them, you tell them, I've taken you to school, I've paid fees, and now come here with the 220 marks. You give them a lot of pressure, but begin to tell them. Use positive statements like, I know you can make it. I have faith in you that come that time you will make it. I have faith in you. I know the way you've been working, the way you operate here at home, you are going to make it. Use positive statements, and that will strengthen your relationship with your child. The other issue that I would say is that create time with your child. Create time with your child. Parents, we have no time with our children because we are busy looking for money to feed them. But I want you to realize this. You don't need 3 hours. You may have 10 minutes with your child, but the 10 minutes are quality time that you can spend with your children. The problem we are having as parents, we take our children to for example, Arboretum or any recreational center, and our children are busy playing, and the parents are having their drinks in another corner. And then we come back home in the evening and say, we had a good time with our children. A good time with your child is when you have given your child something that will help him or her tomorrow. If you went to spend the whole day in Uhuru Park with your child or in Machakos Park with your child, and you never told them anything that will help them to become better people tomorrow, that is wasted time. So I'm saying you could even have quality time with your child in the kitchen. For example, as a mother, you are having your daughter in the kitchen and you are cooking and you are asking her about life and she's telling you what she's going through, the challenges. You are connecting. She's preparing the tomatoes, the onions, and you are talking to them. And this strengthens your relationship. And as a father, you say, let's as mama and your sister preparing food, can we clean the compound? And as you clean the compound, you are talking to your son, you are asking them the challenges they are going through, you are asking them what you would what they would want you to do for them. And this will help, because parents, we never have time with our children. We never have time with our children. We have a problem because we think having time with our children is going to the national park and we spend a whole day there. So our children only know how to spend money, but they have no life skills. The quality time I'm talking about is a quality time that you have something you impart in your child that will help them to become better people in life. So spend time with your children. You can do that while washing, while looking after animals, while gardening, playing games, or reading to each other. You can even read a book to each other, and that strengthens your relationship. Parents who have a relationship, find time with their children, have a stronger relationship with their children. And when you have a stronger relationship with your children, you are able to detect what is their problem. And that is the whole essence of raising up children, realizing the struggles they are going through, realizing the challenges they are going through, and helping them through those challenges. And that will be a good thing. The other issue is you must improve on your communication. Your communication. When parents and children communicate in a better way, the relationship is strengthened. Now, how do you talk to your child? Some parents talk very roughly to their children. You quarrel them, you call them names, there's no good communication. They want to talk to you, you are not ready to talk to them. You are not ready. And I will be talking shortly as we answer question number 3 about communication. But develop a way you can communicate with your children. Communicate with your children in love. Don't be this parent who is too harsh to your children. Don't ever carry the baggage you had from your childhood and bring it to how you raise your children. Some people were raised by very, very harsh parents, and they think that is the way to go. They were raised by parents who beat them, and they think beating your children helps them. No. Just understand your children, know what they want, know what you want for them, know what they want, and together you can strengthen your relationship. So those things are very important. Now, I want to go to question number 3, parents. And this question is about communication. How can parents communicate effectively with their children? Is there an effective way that parents can communicate with their children? And I say, yes. Whenever you are with your children, you must make sure that there is effective communication. Communication is effective. Number 1, listen to your child. Make sure you really, really, really listen to your child. And as you listen to your child, there are several things that you must put in place. Number 1, eye contact. You cannot be talking to your child. Your child wants to talk to you. Dad, this is what I want to tell you. And you are busy with your remote on your television, and you're telling your child who is standing behind you, just talk, I am listening. That is not how you talk to your child. Make sure there is eye contact. When your child raises up an issue, Dad, I want to talk to you. Mom, I want to talk to you. Create time. Bring them in a place whereby there will be eye contact. When they talk to you, there is eye contact. Let me say the importance of eye contact. When your child is going through some emotional issue and you look into their eyes, you are able to tell how devastating that issue is. And your child will be able also to look into your eyes. They will know if you are feeling it the way they are feeling it. And as you do that, when you look your child straight into the eyes, they know my parent is listening. And that will help you to understand the magnitude of what your child is communicating to you. So make sure that you listen to your child. Make sure there is eye contact. Don't be looking somewhere else, and yet you are listening to your child. Your child is talking to you about what happened in school, and you are busy in your newspaper. And in the newspaper, you are reading about a political party, or you are in the sports. You are reading about other people's children excelling in European football, and you have your child talking to you, and you don't want to listen. You are busy soaked into that newspaper, and your child is looking at you and knows for sure you are not listening. So they will only know you are listening when you look at them. Stop everything else and listen to them and tell them, I am listening. Look right into their eyes and know what is causing them to speak the way they are speaking. And that will help you to know that you have communicated well. When children know that you are communicating to them in a way that is good, they will listen. They will listen to you. It will help in communication. But if they come to talk to you, you are busy, you are on your phone, it doesn't make sense. If your child raises an issue, however small it may look like, don't tell them, this is a very small issue. No, listen to it, look right into their eyes and tell them, I can understand what you are going through. And then help them to overcome that issue. Now, the other issue you need to do for there to be effective communication, don't ever interrupt your child when they are talking. Your child is talking, he's the one who has brought an issue, and before he finishes, you have interrupted, you have said, I knew this is what you want to tell me. You have been giving me a lot of trouble in school. Now you want to tell me I'm needed in school. You didn't hear the whole story. Why are you interrupting? Wait until your child speaks everything, tells you everything. Don't interrupt. When you interrupt, it becomes very frustrating to the child. He feels or she feels that you have not understood the whole story, and yet you are making judgment. And for you as a parent also, you may not know how to make the right judgment if you never heard the whole story. Never interrupt. Think about how you feel when someone frequently interrupts you. It feels bad when you are talking and somebody interrupts you. That is the same way your child feels. So, have an eye contact, but number two, also never interrupt your child. If they have brought an issue, let them talk, finish, and then you can also come in. Don't interrupt. Your child is saying something and then you interrupt, you say, you are only a child, what do you know? It's not about him being a child or anything else. It's about her story. And her story or his story, you must be able to listen to it without interrupting. And that will help in communication. The children will know, if I want to talk to my parents, one, they will look straight into my eyes and I know they are listening to me. Number two, they will never interrupt. They will wait for me to tell my whole story, and that makes them to be open to you. Next time they come with an issue, they feel free to communicate to you because they know you always listen, you always don't interrupt. The other issue you need to know, let your child know that you are listening. For example, they are saying a story, they are telling you something, and for them to know that you are following the story, please, you can still ask a question. Did you say that your friend said this? Nod your head when you need to nod. You can paraphrase the statement. You can ask a question. They are saying something and you can ask, did you say your teacher called you this name? Now the child is able to know that my father, my mother is following the story, because you can rephrase what he has said. You are asking more questions to get clarification, and this makes your child know that you are really listening. You are really listening. And when the child knows you are listening, they tend to tell you more. But when they realize you are not listening, they shut up. And that becomes a problem. You affect the communication. The other issue is don't be the one talking alone. Let your child also talk. You know, sometimes it is you who called for the meeting, but you talk and talk and talk and talk and you say, finished. I have said it as your father. Period. Full stop. That is very, very harsh of you. Give your children also time to talk. If there is a story and it is their story, don't take over. You know, your child comes and says, Dad, you know, these days things have changed. The way we put on is not the way you used to put on. And you said, what do you know? Let me tell you. And then you begin to tell them 1950 stories. They don't understand that. Talk, keep quiet, give them time to talk again. So it is a two-way traffic. They talk, you talk. And when you are talking, they keep quiet. And when they are talking, you listen. Don't just talk and talk. Talk in turns, and that will be good. The other issue that you should know that helps in effective communication is that your nonverbal and verbal messages should correspond. You can't come and tell your child, I love you. I love you. It doesn't make sense. I want you to look. The word is I love you. The word I love you is verbal, but the head will be speaking the nonverbal. So it is I love you. The word is saying, the head is saying I don't love you. The mouth is saying I love you. It doesn't make sense. You confuse your child. You can't come to your child and tell them, I love you. That is why I am going out there to look for food for you. And you want to cry. No, you talk to them and you tell them, I love you. So that your verbal message and your non-verbal message correspond. Don't have inconsistencies in messages. Make sure that they are the same. Even your tone. Your tone is part of the non-verbal. You want to tell your child, I love you. And this is how you are telling them, I love you. I love you. You're shouting. It doesn't, you're talking about something that should be gentle. And here you are shouting. It doesn't make sense. I thought you would just say, I love you as my children. Even the atmosphere changes. And the children are able to listen to the words and also listen to the non-verbal communication. And the two marry together. And that helps in communication. It's very important. The other issue you should do also, use open-ended questions. Some people ask, you never came at the time I told you. That one doesn't give your child a time to explain. Because it is either she says yes or no. But use questions like why, what, and how questions. How did it happen? So that you're giving your child an opportunity to express and open up issues that you may have not known. You can ask, why did you do this? So that your child has a room to explain themselves. And this helps in communication. Remember, your children need to listen to you. The other issue that you would want to do is don't be a historian. A historian means parents keep things in a long-term anger account. So that when your child does something wrong today, you begin to remind your child about what she did 2 weeks ago. Stick to the present issue. What are you talking about? What was your discussion all about? Stick to that. Your child came home late. Why are you bringing the issue about how he broke a dish? Why are you bringing issues why he was not in school? That is not the issue. The issue presently is he has come home late. Deal with that. Don't bring issues that are not there and begin to solve them. If you never solved them yesterday, don't bring them in this discussion. Stick to the present issue. Don't begin to bring in issues that are of the past. If there is an issue you never solved yesterday, don't solve it today because an opportunity has come. You should have created an opportunity to solve it yesterday. That is why I'm saying stick to the present issue. Stop being a historian, bringing in issues that you are telling your child, when you are still 3 years, you gave me a lot of trouble. I spent a lot of days with you in hospital. They didn't know about that. The issue here is your daughter, your son has come home late. Address that. Stick to the present issue. Don't focus on the issues that are there. The other issue, parents, is that in communication, you are looking for a solution. And as you are communicating, make sure that you are looking for a solution. Parents sit with their children, they talk for hours, and then they say, it is your own problem. If you want to go to school, go. If you don't want to go to school, it is your problem. You will be in your house suffering. You have not looked for a solution. The issue here is your daughter did not do exams. You're looking for a solution. Why didn't your daughter do the exam? Why didn't your son do the exam? Look for a solution. And as you look for a solution, that becomes the best thing. And that will help. Don't just base on the problem. Find the problem and try to look for the solution. Ask your child, now that you didn't do exam, I'm willing to help you. What do you think we should do? They will tell you, Dad, I will not go to class 4, to class 7. I would want to redo class 6. You have found a solution. Or, Dad, we can go to school and I am ready to pay for the choices that I made. I'm ready to suffer for my choices. but I want you to help me. You're looking for a solution. The solution is she didn't do her exam, he didn't do his exam, and you are looking for a solution. Don't just dwell on the problem and talk about the problem without bringing in a solution. That helps your child know. Whenever we talk with my parents, they bring a solution, and they will always be ready to come and talk to you. Don't always put down your children. Sometimes you talk and tell them, keep quiet, you were only born yesterday. What do you know? I mean, yes, they were born yesterday, but they have done something wrong. You don't know about it. I wish you waited until they tell you. You have used very hard words, very harsh words to put them down, and they will never talk. The essence here is you are creating an atmosphere where your child would feel free to talk. So you may use a message like, now this thing has happened. I am feeling that we could do this way. What do you think? What do you think? And that will be something very good. Thank you, parents. I hope you are getting blessed. Now, question number 4, and I think I should be concluding with this one. How can parents help their children achieve their life goals? How can parents then help their children achieve their life goals? In session 1, I said that parents must help their children to achieve their goals. But how? Because every child has a destiny. Every child has a life goal. There are children who would want to, their life goal is to finish school, have a fulfilling job, begin a family, have children, and just be a good person in the society. How will you help your child? There are several things, parents, you should do. Number 1, we have already alluded to it. Just be a good role model. Just be a good role model. And a good role model is you want your child to, first of all, to finish school, then visit school. Be a parent who can go to school and just ask, how is my daughter, how is my son doing? And collaborate with the teachers. You are a role model that your children look at and they say, this is what I want to become in life. Don't be a parent who does not talk openly with your children. Speak to your children openly, honestly, and frequently. You speak to your child honestly, openly, and frequently. Help them to succeed in school. Do you have values as a parent? Give your children the values you want to see in them. Help them to have these values that will help them to become better people in life. Don't be a parent who does not even know his values or her values. Your values will help your child to become something tomorrow. Teach them good behavior, and that will help. That will help the child to develop what I call self-confidence. It will help your children to develop healthy physical habits. It will help your child to study well in school and resist peer pressure. And when they do that, they are able to achieve their life goals. But there are things, parents, as you help your children, that you should know. That there are things that can hinder your child from achieving their life goals. So how do you help your child? You must be able to know what are the things, the pressures that your child is going through that may be able to hinder them from achieving their life goals. Remember in edition 1, I said you must be able to sit with your child about the 3-plan parenting. Sit with your child and know what are the pressures they are going through. When you know the pressures, you are able to help them. There are things like drug and abuse and alcohol use. There are pressures that your children go through. There are things like peer pressure. There are things like the television that are bringing a lot of pressure on your children. And when these things happen, what happens? Either your children will get into early sexual activities, and that may ruin their lives. If it's for a girl, the girl will be pregnant, and she may not be able to continue with school, or she may even get diseases. And when she gets diseases, because she's a child, she may not even tell you. You may come to realize that she has a disease when the disease has already eaten them up. You may not know they are pregnant until something happens, or in the way they want to hide it from you. They might even go trying to look for a way to terminate the pregnancy. And in the process, they die. When they die, they will not finish school. When they die, they will have health problems. And all these things will be a problem. They may not be able to achieve their life goals. So parents, don't just think that your children don't have pressures. They have a lot of pressures in life. How do you help them to achieve their life goals? It's by you identifying, telling them you know about the pressures. Don't underrate the pressures that your children are going through. Don't look at the pressures from your age perspective. Look at the pressure they are going through from their age perspective. Because your age may tell you this is not something. Their age tells them it is a big issue. So you must look at it from that point of view. Help your child to know these pressures. Sit with them. Teach them how they can overcome. Plan with them what they can do. Let them know they have the ability to overcome these things. Keep on reminding them about their life goals, the good life they may live if they stick and resist this peer pressure, these pressures, and they move on and finish school and get a good job and begin a good family, how this will impact to their future life. And when the children know their future is bright, they would not want to destroy the bright future by the things they are going through today. They will resist, they will work through, and it is going to be well. So thank you, parents. I believe these points that I've given to us through the questions that I asked will be of benefit to you and will help you to become a good parent, to help your children to be good people in this world, that God will look at and say, I thank my child for raising up his children in the way they have done. And the society will benefit from your work as a parent. If you don't help your children today, you are bringing a disaster to the generation tomorrow. But if you help your children today, remember, the same children you have today will be parents tomorrow. Give them life skills that will help them to be better parents tomorrow. Shall I pray with you? And I believe that God will bless you with those teachings. Let's pray. Father, I give you praise, I give you honor and all the adoration. Thank you for these teachings that we have brought. You've given us children, Lord. And I pray that you will help us to be better parents to our children. There are many things that our children are going through. Help us to strengthen our relationship with them. Help us to have an effective communication with them. Help us to help them to achieve their life goals. And God, this will be to the glory and honor of your name. I glorify you because there is none like you, God. I lift your name on high because there is none who can be compared unto you. There are these parents who are looking at me, God, and who will be watching this video. I want to pray that, Lord, you will bless them. Some of them have a challenge with their children. And I pray that, God, through these teachings, they will be able to learn and they will be able to raise up their children in a way that will help them. I thank you and I bless you, Jehovah God. For this I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. God bless you.